May I request the Honorable MP Abdullah Hassim to lead the invocation.
Please stand for the invocation. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alamin. Ar-Rahmanir-Rahim. Malik Yawmiddin. Iyaka na'budu wa iyaka nasta'in. Ihdinas siratal mustaqim. Siratal ladzina an'amta 'alaihim ghairil maghdubi 'alaihim waladdallin. Amin. Rabbana atina fid dunya hasanah wa fil akhirati hasanah wa qina adzabannar. Walhamdulillahi Rabbil Alamin.
Please remain standing for the singing of the national anthem to be followed by the Bangsamoro.
Mga kababayan, ang pambansang awit ng Pilipinas. Kayang magiliw, kaya sa sinananan, alam ng puso, sa dikit mo'y buhay. Lupang hinirang, kuya ka ng magiting, sa mandulupin, di ka pasisigil, sa nagatang tutok sa simoy at sa langit ng panggaw, ay hinagang tulad, awit sa pagkayang minamahal. Ang isang ng matawad mo'y tagumpay na naghihindig, ang bituin at araw niya kailan pang ay di maghihindig. Luman ang araw ng waragin pagsinta, buhay langit sa piling mo. Ang hindi kaya na pagkay mga amin, ang mamatay ng dahil sa'yo. Simula noon hanggang ngayon, isa ang naging layon. Magkaisaan magulong, kagitingan ay marugtong. Tumayo tayo mula sa hamon ng nakaraan, niyamos ang panganib na umaandlang. Pinangako sa puso at paniniwala, ang ginhawa para sa kabataan. Bangsamoro ay tagumpay, bunga ng pawis, sugo at buhay. Kapayapaan, katarungan, ay atin ang nakamtan. Alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah, pagpalain Bangsamoro. Bangsamoro, Bangsamoro, lagi kang mamahalin. Walang pipigil sa damdamin, mga pangako'y tutuparin. Habang buhay kami sa'yo'y magbabantay, mananatili sa puso't isipan. Ang kahapon humimlay na nagbuwis ng buhay, nasa piling na ng may kapal. Bangsamoro ay tagumpay, bunga ng pawis, sugo at buhay. Kapayapaan, katarungan, ay atin ang nakamtan. Alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah, pagpalain Bangsamoro.
The Secretariat is directed to call the roll.
roll call of the honorable members of the Bangsamoro Transition Authority Parliament. Abbas Ahmad, Abbas Harun, Abbas Basit, Abu Mujib, Alamia Laisa, Alaudin Mosper, Ali Ibrahim, Ali Lanang Jr., Ali Edi,
Present.
Benito Suharto, Aminuddin Abdulaziz, Ambatuan Baintan, Anayatin Susana, Antay Muhammad Kelly, Arnado Marian, Asnawi Dan, Babaw Ali Muntaha, Balindong Pangalian, Basman Amna Tarhata, Kandaw Bay Maleha, Dilanggalan
Present.
Hashim,
Present.
Gumama Alba Shia Ilaiha, Ibrahim Ahud, Ismail Suharto, Estino Matarol, Gayak Abdawa, Gera Edward, Haji Abdawa Khalid, Hashim Abdawa, Hasan Hatimil, Iqbal Muhagir, Ismail Rasul, Jajuri Raisa, Jakilan Muslimin, Jikiri Al-Bakil, Kahalan Dan Martin, Karon Faisal, Lim John Anthony, Long Benjamin, Long Don Mustafa, Lorena Jose, Makakuha Abduraw, Makapar Abdawa, Makasalong Marjani, Makatanong Amrosi, Maglangit Tarhata, Malik Hamid, Mantawil Baileng, Mastura Ishaq, Matalan Jafar Apollo Mikael, Mawalil Amil Bahar, Mendoza Proylin, Midtimbang Michael, Midtimbang Tawakal, Miswari Abdul Karim, Miswari Nur Reda, Mitmug Rasol Jr., Munoz Hussein, Uranon Suaib, Pakasam Ubaida, Pak Abdul Wahab, Pangandaman Nabila Margarita, Parcasio Randolph, Piang Ramon Sr.,
Present.
Jamila, Salindab Said, Salik Ali, Sangki Ali, Sema Omar Yasser, Sema Romeo, Sheikh Said, Silungan Aida, Sinulinding Kadil Jr., Sulaiman Ali, Tago Paisalin, Tan Nabil, Usman Asfar, Utto Basir, Uy Oyod Siti Fahani, Yaqub Muhammad.
Mr. Speaker, 51 members inside the plenary hall and 5 members joining via Zoom, for a total of 56 members of this August Parliament responded to the call. I therefore certify to the presence of a quorum.
With the certification by the Secretary General that there is a quorum, the chair hereby declares a quorum. We are now ready to transact business. Before we proceed, the chair would like to make a statement, a brief statement. My colleagues in the BTA Parliament, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. First of all, a belated 2023 greeting to all of you. I know that many of us are still reeling from the post-holiday euphoria, but there is much work to be done, and we are duty-bound to fulfill them in the soonest possible time. I am hopeful, though, that since the holidays have somehow energized and rejuvenated us, we will be equipped with fresher and newer ideas that will be invaluable as we go about our tasks and duties for the remainder of our terms. Ladies and gentlemen, our remaining tasks have not changed, but our timelines have. In other words, we are now working on a shorter time frame. Although our priority legislative agenda are still halfway through from completion. Thus, I encourage every one of you to speed things up. Time is of the essence, my dear colleagues, and it will be up to remind ourselves that we are only here until 2025, unless Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala decrees otherwise. He is the best of judges. And if he says otherwise, he will just say be, and it is. Kum fayakun. We need an extra time after we have completed our tasks to enable us to fine-tune or revise its end results if and when such modification is warranted. But my earnest plea to everyone to act with dispatch is not equivalent to act with undue haste. While we aspire for speed and promptness in our work, we cannot sacrifice its quality and excellence. We should always ensure that our priority legislative agenda will be a byproduct of comprehensive consultations and deliberations with our primary stakeholders, technical experts, partners in the public and private sectors, our constituents, and various local government units. We have to reach out to all sectors, even those who oppose the transition government, because even the harshest of our critics has something to contribute for the benefit of the Bangsamoro. We cannot exclude them because they are a part of the diversity of our homeland. The diversity within our organization is not much of a problem because of the prevailing harmony among us. We are bonded by a common desire to help our people and achieve their dreams and aspirations. I have monitored how recent events in recent months, and I am very satisfied and delighted on how we were able to work together even if you have differences in opinions and perspectives. The orientation of our new fight members also helped to foster harmony among us because it did not only allow them to be acquainted with intricacies of their tasks, but more importantly, it gave them the chance to know and be friends with their colleagues. So this I say to you, continue to act with love and respect, and you in unison with your colleagues. And if you embrace it by heart, there is no task that we cannot achieve, no matter how difficult it is. There is no dream that we cannot reach, no matter how far-fetched it is. There is no obstacle that we cannot hurdle, no matter how high it is. For some of us who are already in the twilight of our ages, whose physical stamina is waning on a daily basis, we no longer aspire for anything except that we leave a lasting legacy of genuine peace and development to the Bangsamoro people. But we cannot do it alone. It is up to you, the succeeding generation of Bangsamoro parliamentarians, to help us fulfill that noble legacy. Be proud and regale yourself with the thought that you are about to be part of such history. You and me are chosen here for a reason, through Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's grand design. It is a sin to squander that opportunity. The only way we can show our gratitude to the Almighty is to ensure that every Bangsamoro be given his due that he rightfully deserves. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. Session is suspended for 1 minute. Oh, Honorable Chair. And it did there for me. I need.
Session resumes. Floor leader.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and good afternoon to the honorable members of this parliament, to the speaker, Attorney Pangalian Balindong, deputy speakers, colleagues, and guests in the gallery. Magandang hapon po. Mr. Speaker, I move to amend the order of business for today to include the proposed resolution number 158, proposed to express the deepest gratitude of this parliament to His Excellency President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. for the constitution of the Marawi Compensation Board, and congratulating the duly appointed chairperson and members of the Marawi Compensation Board.
There's a motion to amend the order of business to include the said proposed resolution. It has been seconded. There being an objection, the motion is approved.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I move to dispense with the reading of the journal number 12 of December 21 and 2022 session, Mr. Speaker.
There is a motion to dispense the reading of the journal, the previous session on December 21 and 22. 2022. Is there any second? There being no objection, the reading of the journal is dispensed.
I move to approve the journal number 12 of December 21 and 22, 2022 session, subject to style, Mr. Speaker.
There is a motion to approve the journal of the journal number 12. Is there any second? There being no objection, the motion is approved.
I move to dispense with the reading of journal number 16 of January 19, 2023 session, Mr. Speaker.
There is a motion to dispense with the reading of journal number 16 of January 19, 2023. Is there any second? There being no objection, the motion is approved.
I move to approve Journal number 16 of January 19, 2023 session subject to style, Mr. Speaker.
There is a motion to approve Journal number 16 of January 19, 2023, subject to styles. There is a second. There being no objection, the motion is approved.
For reference of business, bills on first reading, there are 8 for today's session, Mr. Speaker. I would like to request the Secretary General of the Secretariat to please read in the titles, the bill numbers, the titles, and the author and the co-authors, Mr. Speaker.
The Secretary General is directed to read, to do the first reading of the different bills, including the name, the title, including the name, the title, and including the name of the authors and co-authors. All BTA bills under consideration.
BTA Parliament Bill number 97 entitled An Act Detailing the Shares of Local Government Units in the 75% share of the Bangsamoro Government in the national taxes, fees and charges collected in the Bangsamoro Autonomous Region and for other purposes. Author, Member of the Parliament, Baintan Ampatuan. Co-authors, Members of the Parliament, Amel Bahar Mawalil, Liza Alamiam, Suharto Ambuludto, Don Mustafa Loong, Rasul Mitmug Jr., Rasul Ismail, Jamila Ramos, Susana Netin, Khalid Rajab Dawa, and Japar Apollo Mikael Matalang. BTA Parliament Bill number 98 entitled An Act Strengthening Disaster Preparedness and Response, thereby requiring all local government units in the Bangsamoro Autonomous Region to establish a standard evacuation center in every municipality, providing mechanisms thereof and for other purposes. Author, Member of the Parliament, Baintan Ampatuan. Co-authors, Members of the Parliament, Amel Bahar Mawalil, Liza Alamiam, Suharto Ambuludto, Don Mustafa Loong, Rasul Mitmug Jr., Rasul Ismail, Jamila Ramos, Susana Netin, Khalid Rajab Dawa, Japar Apollo Mikael Matalam, Siti Fahani Oyod, Nabila Margarita Pangandaman, Basir Uto, and Proilian Mendoza. BTA Parliament Bill number 99 entitled An Act Establishing Level 1 General Hospital with 50-bed capacity in the municipality of South Ubian, province of Tawi-Tawi, to be known as the South Ubian Municipal Hospital, and appropriating funds therefore. Authors, Members of the Parliament, Eddie Ali, Muhagar Iqbal, Pangalian Malindong, Abdurrauf Makakuam, Amil Bahar Mawalil, Edward Guerra, Ubayda Pakasam, Ali Sulaiman, Shailaiha Dumama Alba, Raisa Jajuri, Aida Silungan, Anna Tarhata Basman, Lanang Ali Jr., Suharto Ambuludto, Jose Lorena, Nabil Tan, Paisalin Tago, Harun Abbas, Muhammad Yaqub, Ibrahim Ali, Abdul Wahasim, Marjani Magasalong, Susana Netin, Mujib Abu, Abdul Wagayat, Ali Salik, Said Sheikh, Said Salindab, Ahmad Abbas, Basit Abbas, Suhaib Uranan, Abdul Wahab Pak, Benjamin Luong, John Anthony Lim, Hussein Munoz, and Abdullah Makapar. Co-authors, Members of the Parliament, Khalil Jinurindin Jr., Marian Arnado, Bay Maleha Candao, Jamila Ramos, Azfar Usman, Muslimin Jakilan, Ali Sangki, Musber Alaudin, Amrosi Makatanong, Bay Leng Mantawil, Dan Asnawi, Suharto Ismail, Ramon Tiang Sr., Tawakal Mitimbang, and Hashimi Dilangalen. BTA Parliament Bill number 100 entitled An Act Upgrading the Dato Alawaddin T. Bandon Senior Memorial Hospital in the municipality of Sibuto, province of Tawi-Tawi, from its present level 1 of 10-bed capacity to level 2 General Hospital of 50-bed capacity and appropriating funds therefore and for other purposes. Authors, Members of the Parliament, Eddie Ali, Muhagar Iqbal, Pangalian Balindong, Abdurrauf Makakuha, Muhammad Yaqub, Amil Bahar Mawalil, Edward Guerra, Ubayda Pakasam, Ali Sulaiman, Shailaiha Dumama Alba, Raisa Jajuri, Aida Silungan, Anna Tarhata Basman, Lanang Ali Jr., Harun Abbas, Ibrahim Ali, Abdullah Hasim, Nabil Tan, Jose Lorena, Faisalin Tago, Suharto Ambuludto, Mujib Abu, Bahay Maleha Kandao, Jamila Ramos, Susana Nayatin, Marjani Makasalong, Suwaib Oranon, Azpar Usman, Muslimin Jakilan, Ali Sangki, Said Sheikh, Said Salendab, Abdullah Gayat, Ahmad Abbas, Abdul Wahab Pak, Abdullah Magapaar, and Hussein Munoz. Co-authors, members of the Parliament, Kadal Sinurunding Jr., Marian Arnado, Ali Sangki, Mosber Alaudin, Amrosi Makatanong, Bailing Mantawil, Dan Asnawi, Suharto Ismail, Ramon Piang Sr., Tawakal Timbang, and Hashemi Dilanggalan. BTA Parliament Bill Number 101 entitled An Act Declaring Tawi-Tawi as the Seaweed Capital of the Philippines. Authors, members of the Parliament, Eddie Ali, Muhagil Iqbal, Benjamin Long, Emil Bahar Mawalil, Don Mustafa Long, Pangalian Malindong Abdul Rauf Makakuwa, Edward Guerra, Obayda Pakasam, Shailay Hadumama Alba, Raisa Jajuri, Aida Silungan, Anna Tarhata Basman, Ali Sulaiman, Hatim El Hasan, Lanang Ali Jr., Omar Yasser Sema, Faisalin Tago, Nabil Tan, Jose Lorena, Soharto Ambuludto, Muhammad Yaqub, Marjani Makasalong, Hussein Munoz, Harun Abbas, Ibrahim Ali, Abdullah Hasim, Abdullah Gayat, Marjani Makasalong, Hussein Munoz, Harun Abbas, Ibrahim Ali, Abdullah Hasim, Abdullah Gayat, Aida Silungan, Bay Maleha Kandao, Ali Salik, Said Sheikh, Said Salendab, Ahmad Abbas, Mujib Abu, Basit Abbas, Suwaib Oranon, Abdul Wahab Pak, Abdullah Makapaar, Romeo Sema, Susana Netin, Abdul Karim Miswari, Randolph Percasio, Ali Sangki, Azpar Usman, and Muslimin Jakilan. Co-authors, members of the Parliament, Matarol Istino, Marian Arnado, Amrosi Makatanong, Bailing Mantawil, Dan Asnawi, Kadel Sinulinding Jr., Mosber Alauden, Ramon Piang Sr., Suharto Ismail, Tawakal Mitimbang, Nured Damiswari, Hashimi Dilangalian, Hamid Malik, and Ali Muntaha Babaw. BTA Parliament Bill Number 102 entitled An Act Splitting the Ministry of Agriculture, Fisheries, and Agrarian Reform, MAPAR, into 3 agencies, thereby creating the Bangsamoro Ministry of Agriculture, BDAS MOA, Bangsamoro Ministry of Fisheries and Aquatic Resources, BDAS MFAR, and the Bangsamoro Agrarian Reform Office, BARO, defining their powers and functions, amending Book 1, Title 1, Bangsamoro Autonomy Act Number 13, or the Bangsamoro Administrative Code, appropriating funds thereof, and for other purposes. Author, member of the Parliament, Baintan Ampatuan. Co-authors, members of the Parliament, Amil Bahar Mawalil, Rasul Mitmug Jr., Liza Adamia, Suharto Ambuludto, Don Mustafa Loong, Rasul Ismail, Khalid Hajadowa, Jafar Apo Mikael Matalam, and Basir Uttu. BTA Parliament Bill Number 103 entitled An Act Establishing Level 1 General Hospital in the Municipality of Tabuan, Lasa, Province of Basilan, and appropriating funds therefore. Authors, members of the Parliament, Amil Bahar Mawalil, Hatim El Hasan, Muslimin Jakilan, Liza Alamia. Co-authors, members of the Parliament, Mosber Alaudin, Baintan Ampatuan, Suharto Ambuludto, Rasul Mitmug Jr., Don Mustafa Loong, and Rasul Ismail. BTA Parliament Bill Number 104 entitled An Act Establishing a Level 1 General Hospital in the Municipality of Tipu-Tipu, Province of Basilan, and appropriating funds therefore. Authors, members of the Parliament, Amel Bahar Mawalil, Hatim El Hasan, Muslimin Jakilan, Liza Alamia. Co-authors, members of the Parliament, Mosber Alauden, Baintan Ampatuan, Suharto Ambuludto, Rasul Mitmug Jr., Don Mustafa Loong, and Rasul Ismail.
Floor Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. On resolutions, messages, memorials, and communications. First proposed resolution is proposed resolution number 58. May we request the Secretariat to please read the title, the authors, and the authors.
The Secretariat is directed to read the title and the name of the authors and co-authors of proposed resolution number 58.
Proposed resolution number 58 entitled Resolution urging the Ministry of the Interior and Local Government for the implementation of the Early Childhood Care and Development ECCD in the first 1,000 days F1KD program in all local government units in BARM. Authors, members of the Parliament, Kadel Sinurinjin Jr., Abdurrauf Makakuang, Shah Eliha Dumama Alba, Hashime Delangalan, and Aida Silungan.
Mr. Speaker, I move to refer proposed resolution number 58 to the Committee on the Interior and Local Government.
There's a motion to refer proposed resolution number 58 to the Committee on Local Government, on Interior and Local Government. Is there any second? Is there any second? There being no objection, the motion is approved.
Next is proposed resolution number 71. We may request the Secretariat to please read the title and the authors.
The Secretariat is directed to read the title of the next proposed resolution, including the name of the authors and co-authors.
Proposed resolution number 71 entitled A Resolution urging local government units, LGU, to support BARM Food Sufficiency Roadmap through creation and establishment of a sustainable food secure and resilient communities to serve as models, examples, or a pilot project for other LGUs to follow. Authors, members of the Parliament, Kadel Sinulinding Jr. and Eddie Ali. Co-authors, members of the Parliament, Susana Nayatin, Baymalea Hakandao, Abdullah Hasim, Rasul Ismail, Baileng Mantawil, Noredda Misori, Swaib Oranon, Omar Yasir Semam, and Muhammad Yaqub.
Mr. Speaker, I move to refer proposed resolution number 71 to the Committee on the Interior and Local Government.
There is a motion to refer proposed resolution number 71 to the Committee on the Interior and Local Government. Is there any second? There being no objection, the motion is approved.
Next, Mr. Speaker, is proposed resolution number 92. May we request the Secretariat to please read the title, the author, and the co-authors.
The Secretariat is directed as requested by the floor leader.
Proposed resolution number 92 entitled A Resolution requiring the Ministry of Health, MOH, to present to the Parliament an overall plan on the establishment and upgrading of hospitals, providing its indicative budget requirements in order to aid legislation. Author, member of the Parliament, Bahintan Ampatuan. Co-authors, members of the Parliament, Amel Bahar Mawalin, Laisa Alamiam, Sohar Tambulugto, Don Mustafa Loong, Rasul Mitu Jr., Rasul Ismail, Khalid Hajab Doma, Japar Apollo Mikael Matalam, and Basir Uttu.
Mr. Speaker, I move to refer proposed resolution number 92 to the Committee on Health. Committee on Health.
Committee on Health. There's a motion to refer proposed resolution number 92 to the Committee on Health. It's been seconded. There being no objection, the motion is approved.
Next is proposed resolution number 149. May we request the Secretary General Secretariat to please read the title and the author.
The Secretariat is directed to read the title of proposed resolution number 149, including the name of the authors and co-authors.
Proposed resolution number 149 entitled A Resolution congratulating and commending Commissioner Attorney Faida Maniri Dumarpa for her appointment as member of the 6th Commission in Bank of the Commission on Human Rights dated 20th December 2022. Author, member of the Parliament, Khalid Haji Abdawa.
Mr. Speaker, I move to treat proposed resolution number 149 as a simple resolution, Mr. Speaker, and with the information that the newly appointed commissioner is in the gallery.
There is a motion to treat proposed resolution number 149 as a simple resolution. So any second? There being no objection, the motion is approved.
May we recognize the author, Mr. Speaker, to say a few words on the resolution.
The author, the gentleman from Lanao del Sur, Lanao del Sur is recognized.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Speaker Balindong, Presiding Officer, Madam Floor Leader, and members of the Parliament. On the 28th day of December 22, Attorney Faida Dumarpa's appointment was signed by President Marcos, officially making her the third member of the 6th Commission in Bank Commission on Human Rights. To mention some of her background, she is the daughter of former Lanao del Sur 1st District Representative Faisa Rakman Pimping Maniri Dumarpa and former Presiding Commissioner, National Labor Relations Commission, Commissioner Attorney Salik Dumarpa. After obtaining her law degree from San Beda University, she earned her membership to the Philippine Bar after passing the Philippine Bar exams of 2011. On top of her being a certified member of the legal profession, she holds a master's degree in business administration from Far Eastern University, Manila. In the early days of her career, she had worked as Political Officer 3 in the House of Representatives for 9 years, wherein she has built the foundations for a strong background in addressing social, political, economic concerns regarding legislative action. She became further involved in policy and research work in 2012 as Legislative Staff Officer in the Senate of the Philippines, under the office of Senator Aquilino Pimentel III, which eventually earned her a supervising role in the same office in 2013. She further burdened her portfolio when she joined the National Power Corporation in 2013 as a corporate lawyer. Prior to being appointed as Commissioner to the Commission on Human Rights, she served as the Deputy Executive Director 3 for Administrative and Financial Service in the National Nutrition Council of the Department of Health in 2021. Apart from her duties to coordinate international, local, and private agencies with regards to the administration and financing of the agency's nutrition program, she was also responsible in helping execute policies and guidelines set by the governing board. In September 2022, she joined the procurement service of the Department of Budget and Management, assuming the position of Director for Administrative and Financial Group. Presiding Officer, I would like to manifest that all members of the Parliament be part of this resolution.
Manifest or motion? Move your
Motion, sorry.
There's a motion to include all members present.
All members.
All members
All members.
present or absent.
All members ng Parliament.
All members of the Parliament to be co-authors of this proposed resolution number 149 has been seconded. There being no objection, the motion is approved.
Thank you very much.
Presiding Officer, Madam Floor Leader, ladies and gentlemen, respectable members of the Bangsamoro Parliament, I am honored and very proud to acknowledge the presence of my cousin, the first ever Bangsamoro woman to ever appointed as member commissioner to the Commission on Human Rights, Commissioner Attorney Faida Rakman Pimping Maniri Dumarpa.
We acknowledge the presence of Commissioner Dumarpa. Thank you for gracing this Parliament.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. MP Jet Lim would also like to be recognized.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh.
Yeah, the gentleman from Tawi-Tawi is recognized. Sorry.
Yeah, Mr. Speaker, yes. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh. In behalf of the province of Tawi-Tawi, I'd like to extend my personal congratulations and full support to a fellow Bedan lawyer, Attorney Faida Maniri Dumarpa. Congratulations, ma'am. You do and bring honor to the Bangsamoro people. Assalamualaikum.
Floor Leader.
Thank you. Mr. Speaker, I would want to make an omnibus motion to dispense with the periods of interpellation and debate and amendment, Mr. Speaker.
There's a motion to dispense with the period of interpellation and a period of amendments. Been seconded. The motion is approved.
I move to approve proposed resolution number 149, subject to style and with the inclusion of all members of the parliament as authors, Mr.
There is a motion to approve proposed resolution number 149, subject to style and including all members of the parliament as co-authors. It's been seconded. There being no objection, the motion is approved. Proposed resolution number 149 is approved by the BTA plenary.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Next is proposed resolution number. Mr. Speaker, the next is proposed resolution number 158, another bed and lawyer, Mr. Speaker, for the record. May we request the Secretary General to please read the title, the authors and the co-authors, and please, the Secretariat to please make available the soft copy for reference.
The Secretariat is directed to read the title of the next proposed resolution, including the name of the authors and co-authors.
Proposed resolution number 158 entitled Resolution Expressing Deepest Gratitude to His Excellency President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. for the constitution of the Marawi Compensation Board and congratulating the duly appointed chairperson and members of the Marawi Compensation Board. Authors, members of the Parliament, Anna Tarhata Basman and Pais Alintago. Co-authors, members of the Parliament, Shah Ilayha Dumama Alba, Maryhan Arnado, Marjani Makasalong, Raisa Jajuri, Ubayda Pakasem, Aida Silungan, Suharto Ismael, Matarul Estino, Ali Sulaiman, Said Sheikh, Basit Abbas, Abdullah Makapaar, and Amrosi Makatano.
Mr. Speaker, I move to treat proposed resolution number 158 as a simple resolution.
There's a motion to treat proposed resolution number 158 as a simple resolution. Is there any second? There being no objection, the motion is approved.
Mr. Speaker, may we call on Deputy Speaker Paisalintago to say a few words about the proposed resolution, and for the Secretary to please show the contents of the proposed resolution.
The gentleman from Lanao del Sur is recognized.
Thank you very much, Speaker, and to the floor leader for this opportunity of presenting proposed resolution expressing our deepest gratitude to His Excellency Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos Jr. For immediately appointing the members of the composition board. Mr. Speaker, as a matter of fact, this was been long overdue. The Marawi seats happened almost 6 years ago, but the composition board was just it was approved on April 2022 by former President Rodrigo Roa Duterte, and we also acknowledge our gratitude to the former president for approving the bill of the Marawi Composition for the creation of the Marawi Composition Board, and also to the present leadership in the national government, President Bongbong Marcos, for appointing all product or victims of the Marawi seats. I understand, as I'm looking at the names of the members of the composition board, they are all victims of what happened on May 2017 in Marawi. Sa pag-appoint sa kanila sa Marawi Composition Board,
magiging panatag na ang mga kababayan natin sa Marawi, including me, na yung mga kasama natin sa Marawi ay pwede nang makabalik sa kanilang mga lugar, yung tinatawag nating the most affected area or the ground zero din when it was bombarded. So with the Constitution, especially with the chairman of the Composition Board is our former colleague in the Bangsamoro Transition Authority. She devotes her time regarding the plight of the people of the Marawi, Attorney Maysara Dandaman Latit. And we congratulate him in behalf of the Parliament. We congratulate our former colleague for having been appointed as chairperson of the Marawi Composition Board. And of course, the members of the Composition Board, Siti Alia Lumundot Adiong, the Lumabi Lao Bula, Mustafa Dimampaw, Jamaica Lamping Dimaporo, Mabanda Sumdaderon Jr., Muslimin T. Makarambun Senior, Romaisa Lumantong Mamutek, and Nasir Makapado Tabaw. They are all residents in Marawi. So it's but fitting that they were appointed to the Marawi Composition Board. And in view of that, Mr. Speaker, floor leader, I implore and appeal to this august body that we approve this proposed resolution as a gesture of our gratitude to His Excellency President Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos Jr. and the leadership of the national government for appointing our very own from the province of Lanao del Sur. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh.
Floor leader.
Okay, Mr. Speaker, I move to open the period of interpellation.
The period of interpellation is now open.
MP Ampatuan would like to be recognized.
The lady from Maguindanao is recognized, acknowledged to interpellate the gentleman from Lanao del Sur.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, floor leader. At the outset, take this opportunity to congratulate our former colleague, Attorney Maysara Dandaman Latit, who is my our classmate in the MNSA and in the field training exercise. One of the sharpshooters in our butts. Yes, Mr. Speaker, just a few questions. I know that this board has been long overdue and been waited by the victims of the Marawi seeds. Mr. Speaker, this is a board, and what is primarily the function of this board? Because we know that ultimately the people wants to be compensated. So in relation to this, what is the primary function of this board, Mr. Speaker?
May I, floor leader, Mr. Speaker, as shown in the whereas clause, the board is a quasi-judicial body, and the primary function of the board is to receive, evaluate, process, investigate, and approve applications for claims and promptly disburse compensation to qualified claimants. They are the one who are processing, evaluate the claimants for the victims especially in the most affected area in Marawi.
So in the last phrase, it was stated there, it is stated there that they are the ones who will disburse the funds. So that means to say they decide, and upon their decision, they will also render the payment.
Yes, Mr. Speaker.
So that's actually a welcome mandate, because if it's not within the disposal of the board to pay these victims, it would take time. So I guess this is a reassurance to all the victims that they will be paid accordingly. And with the leadership of Attorney Maysara, I know that this board will be successful. That's my only question. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, MP Ampatuan. Thank you very much. Speaker,
MP Lorena wishes to be recognized. And
The
after that,
gentleman from Sulu is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you, Majority Leader. Before I make my manifestation, because I want to be associated with this resolution, I have one very important question. Is this is the creation of the compensation committee a byproduct of the Compensation Act for Marawi?
yes, this is a byproduct of the compensation law that was signed on April 2022 by former President.
In that compensation law, was the amount for a year or succeeding years allocation for compensation already provided?
As a matter of fact, in the law, the amount were not specified. But I understand it under the present leadership, there is an initial funding of 1 billion for the compensation board. President Bongbong Marcos, has gave an initial funding of 1 billion for the board.
So the initial compensation package is given by the president from his
Yes.
presidential fund.
Yes.
Is there no provision in the compensation law which would authorize the president to add or even Congress to appropriate in the succeeding year?
Yes, there is a provision regarding that. That's why I did not fix the amount, because the victims or the reparation for the victims were not known, because it's so huge and substantial. So it's a matter for the board to submit to the national leadership how much really funds they need. The 1 billion is an initial funding given by the national government.
Is there a time frame for the compensation board to look into the compensation packages of all the victims of the Marawi Sea?
Yeah, but the term of the board is 5 years.
Is there any provision that after 5 years the board may be extended?
The
The
board
law.
can be extended.
Thank you,
5 years.
my colleague, Minister and MP Paisalintago.
Thank you very much.
I want to be associated with this resolution to show that it is not only the MPs from Marawi who is glad and happy with the appointment of the board, but it is the entire Bangsamoro people. And I do not like to miss this opportunity to say that having worked with the chairman, I am satisfied that the course of the compensation board will not be delayed, and at the same time the compensation board is in good stewardship under Chairman Maysara Latif. She being a member of the BTC with us and a member of this parliament. So I congratulate all the members of the board, and we express the thanks to the leadership for immediately appointing the members so that the compensation package can already be delivered to the people of Marawi. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, to MP Lorena for the support. of
MP
this,
Makatanong
resolution.
wishes to be recognized, Mr. Speaker.
The gentleman from Lanao del Sur is recognized.
Yes, good afternoon. My question is simple. Kasi I am a part of the Marawi victim. Ang question ko lang is, how were these people selected? Was there a process followed? Were the victims consulted?
Yes, Mr. Speaker, floor leader, there is a process in selection. Under the law, there is an engineer, there is a physician, there is a CPA, there is a civil society. That is under the law. Siti Alia Lomundo Tadyong is a lawyer. Dalumabi Laubula is a civil society. Mustafa Dimampao, Casino Justice Dimampao, I think he's a physician. Yung may kalamping Dimaporo is a physician. Mabanda Somdadiron Jr. is a lawyer. And I think there are 3 or 4 lawyers in the board. But the law says there's a CPA, there must be a CPA, there must be a lawyer, there must be an engineer, there must be a physician, there must be a coming from the civil society.
Thank you, MP.
There is a process followed by the national government.
Thank you. So the MP Makatanong has already taken his seat. MP Babaw wishes to be recognized, Mr. Speaker.
I will not recognize MP Babaw if he is dressed like that. Please wear your jacket before I recognize you, sir.
One minute suspension, Mr. Speaker.
1 minute suspension. The gentleman from Lanao del Sur is recognized.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
So, I'm sorry, session resume and the gentleman from Lanao del Sur is recognized.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I just want to ask a question to the author of this resolution on the status, because right after the Marawi siege, I understand that the task force Bangon Marawi was created, and then the office of the president had appropriated considerable amount for the operations of the task force. Does it mean that the constitution of this Marawi Compensation Board had automatically abolished the task force Bangon Marawi?
Yes, Mr. Speaker, MP Babaw. With the constitution of the Compensation Board, it subsumed the function of the task force Bangon Marawi. So task force Bangon Marawi, because it is only a task force temporary, it was ipso facto abolished or not in full. It's not operational, Mr. Speaker.
Now, you have just declared earlier that the amount that was allocated for this board is 1 million pesos. So, is it enough for the continuity of all these development projects, compensation, then the damages inflicted in Marawi?
As a matter of fact, Mr. Speaker, that is the 1 billion is not enough, because the 1 billion is for the organizational setup of the compensation board, then for the compensation of the victims. Insofar as the development programs and projects, it is the agencies that are handling developmental projects that will implement the programs in the Marawi, especially in the most affected area.
Thank you.
No,
Mr. Speaker, Deputy Speaker Ali and then Deputy Speaker Tan.
The gentleman from Gang Sultan Kudarat is recognized.
Yes, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Mr. Speaker, the passage of Republic Act number 11696, otherwise known as the Marawi Siege Victim Compensation Act of 2023, is long overdue. And Alhamdulillah, by this time, this law is already on the implementation stage, especially or following the appointment of the members as well as the chairman of the Marawi Compensation Board. Therefore, Mr. Speaker, the success of this law, the implementation of this law, is the success of not only from the Maranaos of Marawi, but the success of the entire Bangsamoro, Mr. Speaker. So therefore, Mr. Speaker, I am requesting to the authors that all members of the Parliament present be authors of this
No objection, Mr.
particular
Speaker.
resolution, Mr. Speaker.
Objection?
No objection.
No objection. That will be all, Mr. Speaker.
There's a motion to include all members of the parliament as co-authors in this proposed resolution. It's been seconded. There being no objection, the motion is approved.
Deputy Speaker Tan wishes to be recognized, Mr. Speaker.
The gentleman from Sulu is recognized.
May I just be allowed to make some clarificatory questions if the sponsor will yield?
Very willing, especially from one of our senior leader in the Bangsamoro Parliament.
Thank you, my idol, my Minister of OTC. I'm just curious. The budget allocated for this body is 1 million. Did 1 billion?
It's an initial funding for the creation of the Marawi Compensation Board.
But this will fund the organizational and operational
Yes,
functions of the board.
Yes.
What other charges can they charge to the 1 billion? The claims?
The claims of the Marawi victims, the residents of the most affected area.
And who will handle this?
It is the board.
In short, the 1 billion will be released to the board?
Yes, Mr. Speaker, it will be released to the board, and then under the law, the board is authorized to disburse under the chairmanship of Attorney Maysaradan Damanlatib. They are authorized to disburse the funds.
So the bulk of this will go to the claims, payment of claims.
Yes, Mr. Speaker.
And if the 1 billion is not enough, are there provisions in the law creating the Compensation Act?
As a matter of fact, Mr. Speaker, the budget that was provided by Congress is 50 billion.
50 billion.
Million for the initial. Million. For the initial funding for the organization.
Operating budget.
How much, Your Honor?
The operating budget is 50 million.
50 million,
M.
So
that is for the operating budget for the organization of the Compensation Board.
And what is the 1 billion?
For the
claims.
reparation to the victims of the Marawi.
So 1 billion plus 50 million.
Yes, Mr. Speaker.
That's all the budget. So, and all of this will be released to the board.
Yes, to the board.
For them to make the payout. So, thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
I clarify, does the 1 billion cover also the PS or the salaries of the board?
The PS of the board is the 50 million that was appended in the law. But the 1 billion is funding coming from the president for the Marawi victims, for the reparation of the Marawi victims.
Thank you. Floor leader.
Okay, Mr. Speaker, I move to close the period of interpellation and debate.
There is a motion to terminate the period of interpellation debate. Been seconded. The motion is approved.
Wala na? Wala pa magtanong?
Okay. Walang amendment?
Oh.
Okay, Mr. Speaker, I move to terminate the period of amendments, Mr. Speaker.
There is no amendment. There is no
No
proposed amendment, so we proceed with the approval.
Mr. Speaker, with the earlier motion of Deputy Speaker Ali that all members of the Parliament present be included as co-authors, I move to approve proposed resolution number 158, subject to style.
There's a motion to approve proposed resolution number 158 with the inclusion of all members as authors of this resolution. It's been seconded. There being no objection, the motion is approved.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. For bills on second read, thank you, Deputy Speaker Tago. Okay, okay.
And floor leader, Speaker, can we have 5-minute suspension of the rules in order to recognize the new commissioner, the Commissioner of Human Rights? Mr. Speaker, floor leader.
Session is suspended for
rules.
The rules is suspended for 5 minutes.
Mr. Speaker, may we recognize po the Honorable Attorney Feida Dumarpa, Commissioner of the Commission on Human Rights.
The Commissioner of the Commission on Human Rights, Attorney Dumarpa, is recognized.
Assalamualaikum to our Honorable Speaker and to all the honorable members. Magandang hapon po. It is an overwhelming honor and privilege to be standing in front of the Bangsamoro Parliament. I'd like to thank everyone, a heartfelt and warm thank you po for this recognition. It is indeed a privilege and an honor. Very short statement lang po, because since the release of my appointment, I've been receiving congratulatory messages from friends and family. And I hear that they are proud. But I'd like to end this thank you message by saying that actually, I'm a proud Moro. Hindi po yung they are proud of me, but rather, I'm a proud Moro from Lanao del Sur. Muli po, magandang hapon. Isa pong malaking karangalan at maraming salamat. Assalamualaikum. Thank you po.
Will somebody move to reinstate the rules?
Thank you, Commissioner Dumarpa. I move to reinstate the rules, Mr. Speaker.
There's a motion to reinstate the rules. It's been seconded. The motion is approved.
Mr. Speaker, for bills on second reading, we have one, Parliament Bill number 36. This was deferred during the last session, Mr. Speaker. And Secretariat, can we please read BTA Bill number 36, the title and the author?
The Secretariat is directed to read the title of BTA Bill number 36, including the name of the authors and co-authors.
BTA Parliament Bill number 36, an act to declare the burial site of the late Sheikh Salamat Hasim, MILF founding chairman, and the late Alim Abdul Aziz Mimbantas, MILF Vice Chairman and Vice Chairman for Military Affairs, as Hasim M. Mimbantas Memorial Site, to provide for the preservation of the same and for other purposes. It is authored by the government of the day.
Mr. Speaker, to deliver an authorship speech on Parliament Bill number 36, may we recognize again Deputy Speaker Paisalin Tago.
The gentleman from Lanao del Sur is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you, floor leader, for this opportunity. My deepest respect and courtesies to our Chief Minister Ahud Balawag Ibrahim, and to our Speaker, Attorney Pangalian Balindong, to all members of the Parliament, fellow public servants, brothers and sisters in Islam, guest spectators, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh. Isang magandang mabulaklak na hapon sa ating lahat. Indeed, it was very timely that I will be delivering a speech for remembering the two leaders of the Bangsamoro. And at the same time, we are commemorating the 4th year of the Bangsamoro government. This mission is timely for reminiscing the patriotism and wisdom of the two distinct leaders of the Bangsamoro. Ang tinutukoy ko po, Mr. Speaker, Floor Leader, ay ang dalawang Amiral Mujahideen ng Bangsamoro, si Sheikh Salamat Hasim, Analim Abdul Aziz Bimantas, Allah yarhamu. With all due respect to all, hindi tayo magkakaroon ng ika-4 na taon ng paggunita ng pagtatatag ng Bangsamoro government without the sacrifices, inspiration, and motivation of these two Bangsamoro leaders. Silang dalawa at marami pang iba ang naging bahagi sa pagtamasan natin ngayon ng kapayapaan at kasaganaan sa Bangsamoro. It is true to their dedication, idealism, and sacrifices that we are now reaping the fruits of the gains that we achieved under the comprehensive agreement on Bangsamoro. Kasama po dito, Mr. Speaker, Floor Leader, ang ating membro ng Central Committee, membro ng ang ating mga front commanders, base commanders, membro ng POCOM, Women Auxiliary Forces, at iba pang nakipaglaban para matamasan natin ang inaasam nating self-government, Mr. Speaker. It is with great privilege to give this speech as a support to this mission, which seeks to declare the viewing site of the late Sheikh Salamat Hasim and Alim Abdul Aziz Bimantas as historical sign. As a recollection, Mr. Speaker, the late Sheikh Salamat Hasim is the founder of the Moro Islamic Liberation Front, being the founding chairman, and the late Alim Abdul Aziz Bimantas is the vice chairman and vice chairman for military affairs of the Moro Islamic Liberation Front, are among the Bangsamoro leaders who, by virtue of their ideals, principles, works, and sacrifices, are worthy of remembering and reminiscing. Our Amiral Mujahideen died at the age of 70 on July 13, 2003 from complication of heart ailment, and on the other hand, Alim Abdul Aziz Bimantas as the Immediate Vice Chairman and Vice Chairman for Military Affairs dedicated his life in support to Sheikh Salamat's struggle for Bangsamoro's attainment of peace. He died and passed away barely almost 9 years after the passing of our Amiral Mujahideen on May 3, 2012, also for an illness. Now, Mr. Speaker, they were now both buried in at Busra, Somyorong in Butig, Lanao del Sur, one of the major camps recognized by the government of the Philippines and the MILF Peace Panel. This mission aimed to declare the burial site of these Bangsamoro leaders as Bangsamoro Historical Shrine, consistent with the provision of the Bangsamoro Organic Law, which provides or which empower the Bangsamoro government to declare historical shrines and cultural sites to preserve the Bangsamoro heritage for posterity. This will be attributed to these men whose lives and works were all dedicated to the Bangsamoro people, who have exemplified a true spirit of integrity and commitment to improving the lives of the Bangsamoro people and apply their leadership to stimulate or motivate our people for self-reliance, self-government, and local autonomy. Lastly, Mr. Speaker, by approving this mission, this will show our commitment to recognize and appreciate quality leadership and volunteerism demonstrated by these Bangsamoro leaders. Furthermore, their acts can be emulated by our youth, ang kabataan ng pag-asa ng ating bayan, ang bayan ng Bangsamoro. Their acts of sacrifices, visions, wisdom, leadership, and aspiration can be emulated by our youth. Well, this is the legacy of this great leaders of Bangsamoro will never forgotten by us. This bill, if I may add, Mr. Speaker, to our ulamas, this is not a shirk or bida, as this bill will not violate our religious beliefs, because we still believe that there is only one God, and that is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Sa pagtatapos, Mr. Speaker, I will cite the theme of our Foundation Day for this week. Sama-sama tayo sa pagtaguyod ng mapayapa at masaganang Bangsamoro. In this halls of Parliament, dapat I am imploring and appealing to you, my colleagues in this Parliament, together with the leadership of the Bangsamoro government, that we approve this bill. Tayo po ay magsama-sama sa pag-aproba ng ating bill. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, wabillahi taufiq wal hidayah. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh.
Thank you, Deputy Speaker Tago. May we hear from the Member of the Parliament, Honorable Abdullah Hashim.
The gentleman from Pagalungan is recognized.
Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alamin, wassalatu wassalamu ala ashrafil anbiya'i wal mursalin, nabina Muhammadin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in, amma ba'd. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Mr. Speaker, my courtesies and greetings of peace to the Speaker, Floor Leader, Deputy Speakers, Deputy Floor Leaders, and fellow members of the Parliament, and all those who are listening. Mr. Speaker, the founding chairman of the MILF, the Moro Islamic Liberation Front, and one of the founders and former vice chairman of the MNLF, Moro National Liberation Front, Sheikh Salamat Hashim, rahimahullah, my late father, was buried in one of the mountains of Butig, Lanao del Sur, far from his hometown of Barangay Kudal, Pagalungan, Maguindanao. He was buried in a remote location as the necessity of that time of war required secrecy. Indeed, his death was announced a few months after, just so as the MILF has chosen his successor, ensuring stability of the leadership. Mr. Speaker, I still remember a meeting with the current MILF chairman and our dear Chief Minister Ahod Al-Haj Murad Ibrahim a few months after the death of my father. His beloved wife was mentioning to my mother while I was all ears how the Chief Minister mourned the death of his beloved chairman in secret, even to his wife prior to the announcement. He was clearly in sorrow, but was not able to tell his family at the time. This was similar to how my mother, myself, and my siblings mourned our father. We were instructed to mourn in secret, lest the fate of the struggle could be at risk, and we complied. Mr. Speaker, if we would try to list the names of all those who contributed to the peace and level of self-governance we have attained right now, it would be a lengthy list with which we can never give due justice. There will always be unsung heroes and those who fought for what they believed in and expect nothing in return except the reward from the Creator. Nevertheless, it would not be hard to state that my late father had a significant contribution to what we have attained. Mr. Speaker, he saw that his people and homeland was suffering, that there was an injustice, and he tried to solve it with the best of what he had at the time. He founded two revolutionary organizations which would be vital to the current peace process that we are in today. From his sowing speeches, mostly in his native Maguindanao, he inspired the Bangsamoro to fight for the rights and not to surrender. He reminded them of their religion and implementing it properly. He also inspired diplomacy and compromise when it was warranted. Example of which is his official communication to a foreign non-Muslim power explaining that his organization was not a terrorist organization, and his statement of finding a bloodless solution to the Bangsamoro question. Mr. Speaker, no matter how the extremists use his other statements erroneously to support their ideology, no matter how his name is sometimes used in politics, the truth of who my father really was cannot be changed. He was simply a man forced to fight for his people due to the circumstances of his time to the best of the current knowledge and ability available. Mr. Speaker, the inclusion of the late Vice Chairman Ali Aziz Mimbantas Rahimahullah in this proposal is no surprise, as both brothers in arms are buried beside each other. The late Vice Chairman died just before the creation of BARM. Before his death, he asked that he be buried beside his brother in arms. The late Vice Chairman played host to my father when my father relocated in Butig just after the war in Bulyok. The late Vice Chairman, along with his brothers in arms, demonstrated brotherhood regardless of tribe. He was one of the strong symbols of unity among the Moro tribes by fighting against bias and the impulse to discriminate. The late Vice Chairman, Mr. Speaker, is the father of MP Marjani Makasalong, who is not here at this time due to other commitments. And Mr. Speaker, the late Vice Chairman is also the brother of MP Basit Abbas. Mr. Speaker, I support this government bill not to venerate my father and the late Vice Chairman Mimbantas, but to remember those heroes, unsung or otherwise, who fought with them. Mr. Speaker, I remind this august chamber that in Islam, there are no veneration of saints and pious people. True lordship and worship is only for Allah alone, including all his beautiful names and attributes that are solely for him alone. Mr. Speaker, it is only fitting that we consider this measure at this time that we are celebrating the 4th foundation anniversary of BARM. Sallallahu ala nabina Muhammadin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa sallam.
Mr. Speaker, with the statements of the two members of the parliament and unfortunately MP Makasalong is not around, but he also expresses his full support to this parliament bill, I move that it be referred to the Committee on Rules, Mr. Speaker.
There's a motion to refer proposed BTA Parliament Bill number 36 to the Committee on Rules, been seconded. There being no objection, the motion is approved.
Mr. Speaker, I move to adjourn today's session until 1:30 p.m. tomorrow, Mr. Speaker.
Session is adjourned until 1:30 tomorrow afternoon.